Good morning, everyone. Let me ask you something. How do you begin your day? Do you begin it with energy, clarity, and purpose, or with stress, distractions, and rushing? Because the way you start your morning is not just about the morning, it's about how you live your entire life. Every sunrise is a gift from God, a reminder that you have been given another chance, another opportunity to rise, to grow, and to make a difference. But here's the truth: most people waste their mornings. They check their phones before they check their own hearts. They chase the world before they connect with themselves, and they complain before they are grateful. If you want success, not just in career, but in peace, happiness, and fulfillment, you must win your mornings. Today, I will share with you 7 morning habits of successful people that can completely transform your life. Imagine waking up in the morning and the very first thought that enters your mind is not about the emails you have to answer, not about the bills you have to pay, not about the stress of yesterday or the fear of tomorrow, but simply the thought, "Thank you, God, for this new day." This one simple shift can transform your mornings and in turn your life. Gratitude is like a key that unlocks the door to positivity, peace, and purpose. When you wake up with gratitude, you are not just waking your body, you are awakening your heart. Think of it this way: every day that you wake up is a blessing that many people didn't receive. There are people who went to bed last night and didn't get another sunrise. Yet here you are, breathing, alive, and gifted with a brand new chance to create, to grow, to love, and to serve. Gratitude reminds you that life is not something you are owed, it is something you are gifted. And when you see life as a gift, you start to treat every moment as precious. In daily life, we often rush past this truth. The alarm rings, we jump out of bed, rush through routines, and the first thing we do is grab our phone. We scroll through messages, news, and notifications. And before we even brush our teeth, we have filled our minds with noise, comparison, and stress. But imagine if, instead, you gave yourself just 60 seconds of gratitude before touching anything else. Just closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and saying, "Thank you, God, for this breath, for this bed I slept on, for the people in my life, for the opportunities waiting for me today." Gratitude doesn't need wealth, it doesn't need luxury, and it doesn't even need everything to be perfect in your life. Gratitude is about focusing on what you do have, not what you lack. A successful person understands that success is not measured only by achievements, but by the ability to remain joyful and peaceful regardless of circumstances. Gratitude creates this foundation of joy. Think about people you've met who radiate positivity. Have you noticed how they often talk about the little blessings in their lives? They appreciate a simple meal, a kind gesture, a sunrise, or even the sound of laughter. On the other hand, people who complain constantly, even if they have more than enough, never seem satisfied. This is the difference gratitude makes. It shifts the lens through which you see life. A powerful example of this can be seen in those who go through struggles yet remain grounded. Imagine someone waking up in a small, simple home, perhaps without the luxuries that others take for granted. Instead of focusing on what they don't have, they wake up and smile because they are alive, because their child is healthy, because they have food on the table. That attitude of gratitude doesn't just make them happy, it makes them strong. And strength, built every morning, is what carries them forward in life. When you practice gratitude in the morning, you also set the emotional tone for the entire day. If you begin your day in a state of appreciation, It's very hard for negativity to break through. Challenges may come, but your perspective will be different. Instead of saying, "Why me?" you'll begin to think, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of saying, "I have to do this," you'll think, "I get to do this." Gratitude changes pressure into privilege. Let's take a simple daily life example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic on your way to work. Without gratitude, you may get angry, honk your horn, and let frustration ruin your mood for the rest of the day. But with a grateful mindset, you may think, "At least I have a job to go to. At least I have a car to sit in. At least I have this extra time to listen to something inspiring or call someone I care about." The traffic hasn't changed, but your heart has. That is the power of gratitude. It doesn't always change your circumstances, but it always changes your experience. Scientific studies even show that gratitude improves mental health, reduces stress, and strengthens relationships. But beyond science, gratitude connects us to God. It is a spiritual practice. When you say, "Thank you," sincerely, you acknowledge the higher power that is guiding your life. Gratitude humbles you, reminding you that everything you have is by grace. It takes away ego, and it fills you with contentment. One of the simplest habits you can adopt is keeping a morning gratitude practice. Before stepping out of bed, think of 3 things you are thankful for. They don't have to be big. They can be as simple as the gift of sight, the sound of birds, or the fact that you woke up today. You can even keep a small notebook by your bedside and write them down. Over time, you will notice that your mind becomes trained to look for blessings instead of problems. Success in life is not about having more. It's about appreciating more. Because when you appreciate what you have appreciates in value. Gratitude multiplies joy. It gives you energy. It creates resilience. It makes you magnetic because people love being around someone who is thankful and positive. So, when you wake up tomorrow morning, don't just wake up your body, wake up your gratitude. Remember that no matter what challenges lie ahead, you already have something to be thankful for. And as you carry that spirit of gratitude throughout your day, you will notice that success is not something far away. It is already present because you are living with peace, contentment, and purpose. That is why successful people start their mornings with gratitude. It is not a ritual of the mind alone, it is a prayer of the heart. And when your heart is grateful, your life becomes graceful. Silence is not just the absence of noise, silence is the presence of peace. When you start your morning with a few moments of silence, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply sitting quietly with yourself, you are allowing your mind and heart to connect with God. This habit is one of the most powerful ways to bring clarity and strength into your life. The world outside will always be loud. There will always be demands, distractions, and responsibilities waiting for you. But the world inside you needs stillness, and mornings are the perfect time to cultivate it. Think of your mind like a glass of muddy water. When it is constantly shaken by noise, business, and stress, you cannot see through it. But when you let it rest in stillness, the mud settles down, and suddenly the water becomes clear. The same thing happens to your thoughts when you spend time in silence. You begin to see clearly. You begin to hear your inner voice. And beyond your inner voice, you begin to hear the subtle whisper of God guiding you. Successful people know that clarity is a superpower. Without clarity, you waste time, you make poor choices, and you let emotions control you. But with clarity, even the toughest challenges can be faced with wisdom and calm. And that clarity does not come from rushing into the day. It comes from slowing down and connecting inward before stepping outward. In our daily lives, most of us do the opposite. We wake up, grab our phones, and instantly our minds are flooded with notifications, news, and endless chatter. Before we've even brushed our teeth, we've already allowed the world to take control of our mood and direction. But when you give yourself the first 10 to 15 minutes in silence, you are reclaiming your power. You are telling yourself, I control my mind does not control me. A prayer and meditation are not complicated. They don't require hours of sitting in a cave or chanting in the mountains. They simply require presence. For some people, prayer is closing their eyes, folding their hands, and speaking to God with sincerity. For others, meditation is sitting quietly, focusing on the breath, and letting thoughts pass without holding on to them. For some, it is just sitting near a window, looking at the sunrise, and reflecting on life. The form doesn't matter. What matters is that you allow silence to guide you to peace. Consider a daily life example. Imagine you are a parent with children, and your mornings are usually chaotic, making breakfast, preparing school bags, managing schedules. If you wake up just 15 minutes earlier than usual and spend those minutes in silence, your entire morning will feel different. Instead of snapping at your children because you are stressed, you will respond with patience. Instead of feeling rushed, you will feel grounded. The same tasks will be there, but your state of mind will be transformed. Silence also builds emotional strength. Many of us carry worries, frustrations, and anxieties from the past or fears about the future. When we sit in silence, we allow those emotions to surface and release instead of being buried under constant activity. It is in silence that we begin to heal. It is in silence that we realize, I am not my worries, I am not my stress. I am a soul, a child of God, and I am guided. This realization is powerful. It gives you the strength to face life with calmness and faith. Think about a time when you made a poor decision in anger or frustration. If you had paused for just a few minutes in silence, wouldn't your choice have been different? Silence gives you that pause. It gives you the ability to respond instead of react. And in life, this ability is priceless. Scientific research also supports this. Studies show that meditation reduces stress, improves focus, and even increases creativity. But beyond the science, the spiritual benefit is even greater. Silence brings you closer to God. It is in silence that you can truly feel divine presence. When the noise of the mind settles, the voice of the soul becomes audible. This is why so many wise and successful people practice prayer and meditation. They know that success without inner peace is failure in disguise. Another daily example, imagine you are a student preparing for exams. Instead of starting your day by panicking about how much you have to study, if you first spend 10 minutes meditating, your mind becomes sharper and calmer. You will study with more focus, retain more knowledge, and carry less stress. The silence before the action makes the action more powerful. Or think of someone going to work. They know they will face deadlines, meetings, and difficult colleagues. But if they start their morning with prayer, they walk into that environment with a shield of peace. When challenges come, they don't crumble, they remain centered. This is the difference silence makes. It doesn't remove challenges, but it changes the way you handle them. Ultimately, beginning your morning with silence and prayer is about alignment. It aligns your mind with peace, your heart with gratitude, and your soul with God. And once you are aligned, the rest of your day flows with more ease. You may still face problems, But instead of being overwhelmed, you will face them with wisdom and strength. So tomorrow morning, before you rush into the noise of the world, give yourself the gift of silence. Sit, breathe, pray, meditate, whatever form speaks to you. Allow that stillness to recharge you, because when your mind is calm, your actions become powerful. When your heart is centered, your words become healing. And when your soul is connected, your life becomes meaningful. That is the power of beginning your morning in silence and prayer. It transforms not just your day, but your destiny. Your body is the temple through which your soul experiences life. Every morning when you wake up, your body gives you signals. It may feel heavy, tired, or sometimes full of energy. But whether it feels light or sluggish depends on how you treat it. To move your body in the morning is not just a physical act. It is an act of respect, gratitude, and alignment with the life God has given you. When you take time each morning to stretch, exercise, or simply walk, you are not only strengthening muscles and bones, you are awakening the energy within you to face the challenges of the day. Think about it. When you keep your body still for too long, such as after sleeping for 7 or 8 hours, the energy inside feels stuck. That's why many people wake up groggy or lazy. Movement shakes off that heaviness. It's like opening the windows of a house that has been shut all night. You let fresh air in, you allow light to enter, and suddenly the whole space feels alive. That's exactly what morning movement does for your body. It invites vitality, focus, and clarity. Successful people around the world understand this simple truth. They make morning exercise non-negotiable. It doesn't have to be hours at the gym. Even 15 minutes of stretching, yoga, jogging, or basic exercises can completely change the direction of your day. When you move your body, your blood flows faster, your lungs expand with fresh oxygen, your heart beats stronger, and your brain receives more clarity. You begin to feel awake not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Let's take a daily life example. Imagine two people waking up at the same time. One rolls out of bed, checks their phone, and sits slouched while scrolling through social media. The other drinks a glass of water, steps outside, and takes a brisk 20-minute walk in the fresh morning air. By the time they both start work, who do you think is more alert, more positive, and more focused? Of course, the one who moved their body. The first person is already carrying sluggishness into their tasks, while the second person is radiating energy. That small choice in the morning creates a big difference in how the entire day unfolds. Movement also has a spiritual connection. When you move your body, you are not just exercising, you are honoring the gift of life that God has given you. Many times, we take our health for granted. We don't value the ability to walk, stretch, run, or bend until the day our body no longer allows it. But when you move every morning with awareness, you are silently telling yourself, I am grateful for this body. I respect it. I will take care of it. This attitude of respect builds discipline, and discipline is the foundation of true success. Consider how even animals begin their mornings. Have you seen a cat or dog wake up from sleep? The very first thing they do is stretch. They lengthen their spine, extend their limbs, and wake their bodies before doing anything else. Nature has already designed this wisdom into them. But as humans, we often ignore it. Instead of moving, we sit. Instead of stretching, we slouch. And slowly, our energy drops, our health weakens, and our minds become dull. By learning from even these simple observations in nature, we can bring back the habit of movement. There's also a deeper benefit to morning exercise. It builds mental toughness. When you move your body, even when you don't feel like it, you are training your mind to overcome laziness. Think of the mornings when your alarm rings and you just want to stay under the blanket. The moment you push yourself to get up, change your clothes, and move, you've already won your first battle of the day. That victory gives you confidence to face bigger challenges ahead. Each push up, each step, each breath in exercise becomes a reminder that you are stronger than your excuses. Let me give you another relatable scenario. Imagine you have an important presentation at work. You could start your day by waking up late, rushing through breakfast, and carrying stress into the meeting. Or you could wake up earlier, spend 15 minutes doing yoga, feel your breath align with your body, and then walk into that presentation with calm energy. The difference is not just in how your body feels, but in how your mind performs. Your posture will be confident, your voice steady, and your thoughts clear, because movement has already activated your inner power. And it's not just about career. Movement in the morning also improves your mood. Exercise releases endorphins, chemicals that make you feel happier. Instead of dragging through the day with a heavy heart, you carry lightness. You smile more, you handle stress better, and you even interact with people in a more positive way. This is why people say, when you take care of your body, you are taking care of your mind and relationships too. Another beautiful aspect of morning movement is connection with nature. If you can, step outside in the early hours. Walk barefoot on grass, breathe in fresh air, or watch the sunrise while stretching. These experiences remind you of the bigger picture, that you are not separate from nature, you are a part of it. When the sun rises, it brings energy to the world. When you move your body under its light, you are aligning yourself with that universal energy. At the end of the day, moving your body in the morning is not about becoming the fittest person in the room. It is about becoming the most alive version of yourself. It's about entering each day with strength instead of weakness, with clarity instead of fog, with energy instead of laziness. And when you make this a habit, over weeks and months, your health improves, your confidence grows, and your success naturally follows. So tomorrow, when you wake up, don't just wake your eyes, wake your body. Stretch, walk, run, dance, do whatever movement feels right. Let every step remind you of the blessing of being alive. Let every breath remind you of the energy flowing within. And let your body become a channel of strength, gratitude, and vitality. Because when your body moves with purpose, your life moves with power.